Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Jace.
I'm Lauren.
And this is your coffee break. I like that. Welcome back, episode 2 of Coffee Break. You know, your lovely host here, Jason Lauren Coffee. Ooh.
Whoa.
Jason Lauren Coffee. And this is the Valentine's Day edition, which, I mean, fits perfectly for what we're going for with this channel and relationship advice and just talking about how we're trucking along in our marriage, you know. This is month 2. No, this is month 3. Dang, does it feel that long?
No.
Yeah, this is already month 3 of being married, and I'll tell you what, it's still amazing. I'm still having a great time. I'm not saying everything's perfect, but like I said, man, like that's what you sign up for, and I picked a perfect mate to do that. I know you guys can't see it. But she looks absolutely phenomenal right now. We'll give you a little insight about why this setup looks like this. But first, I'm gonna need you to show them in the camera your nails. That was one of her Christmas gifts, was to start her little nail journey, and she has been killing it. Look at that.
You can't tell.
We'll give it justice. We'll add in like a clap sound or something for that. She does a great job. I know I don't tell her that all the time, but
it takes forever.
It's amazing. Well,
but it's fun.
It is. So I'll let you go ahead and tell them why the room looks like this, outside of the fact that we set it up for the channel.
Yeah, true. So I just wanted to do like Valentine's Day pictures to promote myself for like photography stuff. So I'm gonna do pictures for like my friends, single and non-single. So I'll do like my couples and then just like my friends, but I wanted to use our... Stop. Come sit on the couch. Come here. I wanted to use our spare bedroom because I just have my vanity in here. So I just took all the sheets from my wedding tables and then I ordered these balloons on Amazon Conquer.
Just to retweet what she says, man, she is killing the game right now. She does nails, she does photography. What doesn't she do? So I'll make sure to tag that photography page at the bottom if you guys are interested. If you're in the Midwest area, preferably Missouri, and you guys want to get pictures done, man, go to her. And she's awesome. She's friendly. I mean, I would love her to take my pictures all the time. This episode is all about love, man. And what better thing is to sit here and talk about certain topics regarding that fact. And yeah, let's get right into it. We're good.
Boom. Here, you need a balloon by you.
Oh, I already have one heart. Let's let the first topic kind of be more serious, you know. Let's start this episode off serious, and then towards the end of the video we can make it more fun. One thing that I think should be talked about, because it's not talked about enough, is being in a relationship where one or the other has severe anxiety. You know, we're gonna be open about it, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Lauren suffers from anxiety, and it's not like something weird, you know. I feel like society wants to make things like that weird, but it's just normal, you know. And yeah, you want to like kind of break down what goes through your mind, and I can tell you about how I learned to adapt to it.
Hey.
I guess I can kind of just start off about how our journey of it not being healthy to being healthy about dealing with anxiety. So like obviously from my background, I kind of never really dealt with somebody that has anxiety within a relationship. I mean, I feel like on my end, not knowing anything going into it, I thought, okay, you should be healthy in a relationship. You're with somebody, you're supposed to be happy with that person all the time. It was hard for me to grasp the idea that you can still have anxiety in a relationship. And so, like I said, so it caused a lot of fights early in the relationship because I didn't believe enough when she said that she was dealing with these things, and I thought she was just being over dramatic. But I mean, it wasn't. What is your take on that?
I'm trying to think like the first time that I realized that like I had anxiety. Pause. Resume. I mean, I feel like it definitely, some of it, like my relationship anxiety definitely stems from like my last relationship, just because it was toxic. Like it was not good at all. which I know most people like go through at some point in their life. But just like when you would go out with your friends and I would text you and you wouldn't text me back instantly, which I understood that you were with your friends and that you were in a place that you didn't have the best service and you didn't have to text me back instantly. But it's like the uncontrollable like thoughts of, oh, he's cheating on you, he's being sus, he's doing something bad. And I feel like especially at night, people don't realize that it's worse. And so I'd just be like laying in bed, like literally shaking. I would have to like go to the bathroom, like almost throw up, just because I was like, I'm losing my mind right now. So I feel like just getting through that obviously helped, because like I knew deep down you would never do those things to me, but I was still like, something's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. I feel like one thing that also helped us, instead of me getting upset at you, was like that, I don't know if I just like figured it out or if I like did research about it, but like writing like my notes that I used to write. I used to write like if it was like nighttime or just like a random time, that when I would just get like really in my head and like super anxious about stuff, and like I didn't want to take it out on him because I knew I was just like doing the most, I would like write down like how I was feeling, like what I would say, and like honestly most of it was not nice, and it was not things that like were legit or like real. I don't know, it was like my feelings but like times a million. So I'd write it down, which I mean he would always want to read it, so he would read it, which I feel like also helped you understand. Mm-hmm. Deep down I still have that jar full of, there's probably like what, like 30 notes in there. I was down bad when we first started dating.
Yeah.
But we good now. Well, we're not good now, but we're past that part.
It definitely takes a lot of maturity, you know. From like my side, it's like the reassurance. It's really down to reassurance. I wasn't prepared to be in that like state early on, because I never had to, and so it was new to me. So when I do stuff normally, like I'm not used to asking for, like, not asking for permission, but like telling people what I'm doing, you know. We're all out of high school and middle school where we had to tell our parents everything. I grew out of that. So for me to kind of like go back into it in a healthy way, in order for her to be better mentally,
I mean, I'm
it's
not going to
huge.
say it's a healthy way, because I don't need to be asking you
No, but still
24/7 what you're doing.
But like in the role as a man, like we should have to adapt and care for the way you go about things, which I feel like I'm gonna touch on a later point. But another thing I wanted to talk about is how huge and monumental her expressing how she feels is, you know, as the husband, boyfriend, friend in this case. You have to make a comfortable environment for them to express how they really feel. If you shut down every single time they try to express how they feel, then it only like makes their anxiety grow, because they're never going to be able to reach that point of expressing how you feel. And I felt like that's one thing that was huge when it came to us growing, was me being able to sit down and say, you know what, it's bigger than me. It's not about how I feel in this scenario. It's how can I make you feel the most comfortable. And you know, all around it comes back to me being more comfortable. Yeah. You know?
I mean, it's definitely like a learning thing we had to go through. Mm-hmm. But my throat is dry. I'm out of water. But yeah, I feel like definitely now, like going through all that and like working through it, I mean, don't get me wrong, I also, from like jumping to jumping, I feel like my thing is like something even now that I'm still realizing. My dress is itchy, don't worry. I feel like something that I'm still learning is like I have to separate myself from like certain situations and like certain things, like social media posts where it's like, if he wanted to, he would. Like those posts are so toxic. Like, yes, I'm glad your man does those things for you, but it's not, if your man doesn't do that, then he doesn't love you. Like, no. Don't get me wrong, you deserve better than the bare minimum, but like, I'm trying to think of other posts that are like, you have to separate yourself and your relationship from, if you do like deal with stuff like that.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, Man, that's a whole topic within itself about how social media can affect your anxiety and
we'll come
mental
back
state.
to that. We'll come back to that.
No,
But we'll just talk. We'll like. We can just continue down the anxiety road, and we can just talk about like where we are now.
Yeah.
I feel like now, honestly, like in this time, like today, my anxiety has been really, really bad since. Not only am I anxious, he is anxious. But I feel like now, in this day, like recently, like I have been a lot more anxious, and I just feel like it's because, I mean, I'm not wedding planning anymore. I'm like in the process of like graduating, so then I'm like, oh gosh, like what am I gonna do after that? Like figuring all that out, and like with his job, like honestly there's a lot of like, oh, we might have to move, so then it's like, oh, do I apply to do this, but then find out we have to move in 2 months. So it's just figuring out all of that. Make sure you didn't pee on anything. But yeah, I feel like we're still like learning how to deal with all of that. I don't take anxiety meds just because I don't want to do that yet. But yeah.
And I feel like another thing, like in your case specifically, I feel like another thing that kind of like increases your anxiety is the fact that you're such a selfless person. Like you take so much time caring about other people's lives, where I feel like you take on and like you burden what they have, which like ultimately gets back to you. And so I feel like a good advice would be, not just for you, but just for anybody dealing with this, is like take time away to focus on you. I know some people might call you selfish, or you might lose some friends over it, but like at the end of the day, like you take care of yourself. I mean, I'm not saying there's a perfect answer, because I don't, like I said, I'm still, there's some times I'm just dark in the area of anxiety, but I feel like in order to gradually improve your anxiety, you got to take time to focus on yourself. Learn yourself. Learn what alerts you and what like increases your anxiety versus what doesn't, you know?
And
put
how to
yourself
like
in that
calm
time.
down. Something so small that like I started doing like right before the wedding day, because I was so terrified to do that whole thing like in front of everybody. Like my wedding dress was like almost a size too big, because I did not eat a week before the wedding because I was so anxious. But obviously the day of the wedding, not anxious at all, so anxiety just went away that whole day, which is great. Whatever, I enjoyed it. But one thing I like practice is just like my breathing, like, which is so like, I feel like small, but it is something really big that helps your like body relax. Like when you do it, you can physically feel like your body relax and like reset.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And another thing to talk about that as well is one thing, like, and it's not just her, like I've dealt with anxiety as well, not to the serious case of you, like in a more serious case than you. I'm not saying that your case is serious, but one thing that has always helped me was obviously going to my Bible, you know, reading about it, talking to God about it. And a verse that comes to mind that I actually have a tattoo of is Philippians 4:6, that says, don't worry about anything, instead pray about everything, ask God for what you need and thank him. And so those steps right there kind of help me like gravitate and navigate through dealing with anxiety, you know. Focus on what you can control is basically like
it's hard.
The epitome of that message is just understand that there's certain things you can control and things you can't. And when you focus on the things you can't control, that's where like a lot of my anxiety comes from. Is like, oh, I'm so worried about, you know what? Oh yeah, where am I going to go work at? Or, oh, what am I going to do next? And so I just know things I can control is huge over things I can't.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else along this topic?
No.
Man, you look amazing.
All right, next topic.
Next topic.
No, let me start. You start every topic. Like I said in the first video, my gorgeous man is a yapper. So sometimes we gotta reel him back in. So the next topic that we're gonna talk about is like how to be in a relationship while you're 20 years old, like in your 20s, but also like still live your life. I feel like now that I'm like married and just in the time that we've been married, we're like we've had the most fun that we've had in like a while, just because I mean I did move back home, so I like respected my parents. I wouldn't just like go out whenever, because I'm gonna respect my parents for like the 5 months that I lived with him again. It's just like the figuring out like the when to spend time with other people and when to prioritize spending time with like your person. Like I'll be at work and he'll text me, hey, like, do you want to do anything when you get off work, or do you want to like hang out? Like, do any of your friends want to do anything? And so then I have to be like, oh man, like I don't really want to do anything. But I could tell he wants to do something because I mean he works remote and I don't. So it's also just like picking that. But I also now just being able to like go out and like go home with each other and just enjoy doing all of that. But I feel like it's also finding the, look at that tongue. I also feel like it's the in-between of still living your life and like wanting to start a family. Because obviously, yeah, we're new, married, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes this man says he wants to have a little baby, but I'm not ready for that yet. One thing that like whenever we got married, I was like, I want to be married for at least a year before we have a child because I want to enjoy being married and I want a house. I don't want to be in an apartment when I have a child because I want to be like stable, which obviously it's not always up to me. It's also up to the Lord and what he has planned, but just navigating through like when's the right time to do like things like buying a house. That's scary.
To kind of roll over onto the next topic of today's episode.
Discussion of Valentines.
With the Valentines in the air, I feel like one thing in order to healthily grow, is healthily a word?
No.
Well, I just made it up. Healthily grow just into a better and more blossoming relationship is love languages. Now, I know you probably understand love languages, and we're not going to go into the deep of what love languages is. You guys
That's for your own research.
You guys can search that up. But we're both going to talk about our key takeaways about love languages. And so with that, I'll start off with this is probably my biggest lesson. And if you know me, and if we've sat down and actually talked about relationship advice, I probably mentioned this to you, it's a two-parter. Okay, so one, obviously, as the boy in the relationship and the girl in the relationship, it's huge to understand your partner's love languages. So in this case, Lauren's love languages is words of affirmation, physical touch, and acts of service.
I feel like honestly I'm like all of them.
And they might change, like, it's just depending on the season. It's more cold, so her physical touch is up 1,000 and blah blah blah. But this is what I want.
I also love like quality time.
Quality time is, yeah, she does like that one.
And when you buy me presents.
So she likes them all. You heard it here first. And so what I wanted to take with that topic in that last point was, it is human nature. Let me sit up so y'all can hear me on this. It is human nature to love somebody the way you like being loved. For instance, for me, quality time for me is, hey, I'm on the game. I just want you right here as I'm playing so I can turn around, see that you exist, turn back around and play the game. Her love language is phones off, TV's off, sit down, look in each other's eyes, maybe a couple Eskimo kisses, and then let's have a conversation, which is completely fine. But it's huge and very important for you to love them in the way they like being loved. And it's human nature for us to be prideful and be like, no, I'm doing enough. You said that this is your quality time. Well, this is quality time. No, it's important for you to step out of yourself in order to help, and not help, but enjoy the other person's love languages. And it's a bonus if you actually start enjoying how they like being loved, if that makes sense. So acts of service, I like it now too, because the way that she how she enjoys it, I enjoy it too, And so yeah, that's kind of one of the biggest points I wanted to make, was learn to love your mate the way they like being loved.
I feel like that's definitely something, like, I mean, if we were having like, get the birdie hair off my face. Whoa, I feel like I couldn't breathe. You blew so hard. It's definitely something like we're obviously still learning, because I feel like right after we got married, like there was so much going on, like good things, bad things that we won't talk about. Not with us, just things
just
going
in general,
on.
just life.
That we both, I feel like, just got like really lazy. Like we were like, okay, we're finally married. Like we live together now. I feel like we just got so comfortable, just so quick, just to relax, that we both like stopped trying. And I mean, I feel like we argued the first 2 months, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's just now hit 3, but I feel like we argued the most we argued probably ever over, I mean, they were small things, but they were also like big things, because they were big things to me or big things to him. So I feel like having to like relearn each other's like love languages
is huge,
and like reevaluate, like, are you satisfying yourself or are you satisfying your other, like, your person? Because I mean, there's definitely situations where like I would want to do something, but I could tell he wasn't in the mood, or he wanted to do something but he could tell I wasn't in the mood, as in like going out and like shopping and stuff. Nothing crazy.
Definitely. I think the biggest villain in relationships is settling, you know, thinking that you're doing enough when it is never that case. You know, you should never just be settling like, you know what, you told me 5 years ago that your love languages was this, so I'm gonna remember it, I'm gonna do it. But take the time to still learn about your partner. You know, like I said, like we've been dating for 5 years and we've been married for 2 months, 3 months, and I'm still learning new things about her. I'm learning how things have been changing for her. And and that's part of the fun of just being married and being with somebody is that it's a constant learning thing. And with that, like she said, we have been having arguments and stuff, but it's okay to argue, you know? I mean, one, it shows that you still care. 2, it's just natural.
Well, I also think we're very like, I mean, we care a lot. And so I think we care about each other a lot, but we also care about like ourselves a lot in a good way. Like I feel like we've both, I mean, I have like prioritized coming from a bad situation, like making sure I'm okay, and I feel like he also, like, he's instilled that in me, and I feel like me doing that, he has learned more now and is more open to being like, hey, what you're doing is not, like, that doesn't satisfy me, that does not make me feel good. So now it's just like we're both wanting the best for ourselves and each other. So sometimes we're still learning how to like navigate through all of that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like just taking the time to like recognize, like, if I'm like, hey, I want to hold your hand, and I already could tell he wasn't in the mood to be like touchy, then like I'm just setting myself up for failure. Because obviously, like, if I needed it like really bad, then he would be like, okay, cool, whatever. But it's honestly just like picking,
it really
not
is.
your battles, but like observing yourself and observing your partner
and observing the situation. You
Yeah.
know, like read the room, understand. Okay, how would they react to this? You know, and like she said, a lot of the fights come from not because like we're mad at each other, but it's like, okay, right now I don't feel good in this moment, but she doesn't feel good either. So do I choose to either tell her, hey, like, I'm not feeling good, or hey, let me just forget about how I feel and nurture you. And so I feel like that's a lot of like where the battling comes from, is that. So yeah, you know, 20s is fun. Like, I know the world kind of views our relationship as, oh, you're too young, or you're gonna be bored in your 20s. But I mean, if that's just something you prioritize, and I mean, if I didn't choose to marry her, we're still gonna be doing the same thing, you know. And so obviously that's just a conversation you got to sit down with your loved ones. Hey, let's have fun in our 20s. Yeah, I want to marry you, and yes, I still love you, and I don't regret proposing and wanting to marry you. But now it's like we got to just prioritize our fun, you know. Like I said, there's times where I want to have a family and do all that stuff, but at the same time, we have time, you know. We're 24 and 25.
We still go out.
Yeah, enjoy those times. We just came back from Florida just to get away for the weekend, and that it's freezing and it's snowing here in Missouri. We said, hey, like, do you just want to go down to Florida?
And we went to go see his family.
Yeah, we went down for the Super Bowl. We just thought it'd be a fun thing to do. And although we have those times where like, ooh, having a kid sounds fun, and having a kid, we know that we can still do that, but we can, like I said, take the time to create our own memories before we have a family. And that's huge, you know. It's so much fun sitting down and planning trips together, you know. Navigating our work life and our social life with planning for trips. And I'm telling you right now, when you finally get to sit down, make your own money, have adult money, and like have an adult life, it is so fun to like sit and plan vacations and do all this stuff without, like, I still feel like I'm like 12 years old at my parents' house. Like, I have to ask them for everything. Like, hey, like, is it okay if I go to my friend's house? That's how it kind of feels sometimes. But now, like, I'm starting to get out of that. I'm like, hey, like, let's go down to Florida. That's gonna be fun. Let's just do it. And I think that's just so fun. Like, yeah, we're in our 20s, but if we weren't married, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd probably be doing definitely not traveling or wanting to go visit and have fun, go out. I mean, still enjoy that, but also reaching our goals, like you said, you know. We still have a chance to buy a house, but if we follow our financial plan and our savings plan, we're still gonna be able to do that while still having fun. And I think that's the fun to me. And knowing me, I'm not a big like spender when it comes to like wanting like the nice things in life. I like thrifting, and I enjoy like the thrill you get when you find something fun and find something cheap that's valued for more. And so it comes with traveling. Same thing. But yeah, man. 20s are fun. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. So comment your plans down and tell us what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day. I can tell you what we're gonna do. We're going to see Captain America, The Brave New World, or A Brave New World. You know, like I said, I am true to who I am. I am a Marvel fan. So what are we gonna do? Friday night, we're going to see Captain America. I mean, there's no question about it. And if y'all also want to hear a life hack, we truly celebrate. This is what, year 6 of selling Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
We literally celebrate Valentine's Day on February 15th. 1, discount on all chocolates and all flowers. If you didn't know, now you know. Go ahead, bookmark it, save it. Like this video to keep that in mind, that, okay, a day's a day and you can make any day the day you want. That's a bar right there. You hear that? And don't ask me to repeat it because I don't know what I said. But like I said, we usually celebrate it on like the 15th because it's a, like I said, love saving money.
I also choose to work on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, who does that? Who chooses to work on Valentine's Day?
Sorry, I'm a server and a bartender. That's how I make my money.
But yeah, go ahead, comment down below. What are you doing for Valentine's Day? If you're by yourself, that's fine, you know? How are you going to treat yourself? It's all about self-love too. It is a day of love, not a day of love your partner, if that makes sense. Go ahead, spoil yourself. Go take yourself out to a nice dinner. Go watch a movie by yourself. I've done it plenty of times. And so, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for listening to us ramble. Like she says, I ramble a lot, so thank you for listening to us. One more time for my beautiful wife. She looks absolutely incredible today. And stay tuned for our next video. Go ahead, follow our socials down below. Feel free to comment, talk to us. We are more than welcome to sit down and have conversations with you. If you guys want to talk more personally, then tell us. If you guys have topics you guys want to talk about, tell us. Like I said, we're going to be active on YouTube, TikTok. We can probably start posting stuff on Instagram as well. And I hope you guys have a great, lovely weekend. Enjoy the month of February. We'll see you guys again in March. There's no holiday, but hey, let's make one.
St. Patty's Day.
Oh, St. Patty's Day. Yes, yes. But
we might post before then too.
Yeah, you know, like whatever works. I'm Jace.
I'm Lauren.
And this is your daily dose of coffee. Pinkies up. We're out.
Wait.